Upper Darby's own Todd Rundgren starts us off today. It's the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
And I am Ron Bennington. Nice to start off with the rant, right?
Very nice.
You know, after loving that song my entire life, now I only think of one person when I hear that song, Liv Tyler, because that's her favorite Todd Rundgren song.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, you go.
No. There's something you want to say.
Yeah, but it's like an aside. It's different than that.
But I want to hear what you want to say.
I was going to say, I know somebody whose mom was like a Todd Rundgren groupie and just followed him across the country.
Well, I would have fallen madly in love with her.
You'd have been best friends. I
would have, I feel like I'd be best friends with her right now. All right, it's the Bennington Show on a Friday. And in a couple moments, we're going to make a big announcement by yet another live show that we're going to be doing. Yeah, Comedy 101 on Mass, the Bennington Show, Gail Meets Girls, Ron Bennington Interviews, Icons.
GPS.
Yes, GPS, Chris. I was going to say GPS.
All he thinks about is GPS.
GPS. When are we going to do Seattle, dude? That's my sound. It's coming up, Chris.
Okay.
We're going to do Seattle.
All right, good. Thank you.
Well, don't you act like I'm bothering you. You don't even know how to play your character. You wouldn't be mad at me for saying that.
I'm not mad. I'm happy.
You would be playing that way. Instead, you're like, oh, Ron's acting like that, so will I. We can't both be annoyed because the other person's bugging us. One of us has to be the bugger. The other is the buggy. I don't mind being the bugger. But then you can't be like, oh, me too. I'll be the bugger too.
Now you guys are just in a fight.
It doesn't make sense. You can't say, I'm so annoyed that you're annoyed with me. Trump is actually coming up with an idea of running a roller coaster right along that wall. It's going to be great. 2,000 miles.
Okay, so it's going to be used for other things. Everybody's going to enjoy it.
All right, let me finish my Liv Tyler story that you stepped on.
Okay.
Because
please,
I don't know what your friend's mom had to do. I'm setting up this entire beautiful Liv Tyler thing.
I'm sorry, I want to hear it.
But maybe everyone doesn't know this. When Liv Tyler was a little girl, she thought that Todd Rundgren was her dad, not Steven Tyler.
Why did she think that?
Well, because B.B. Buell, the girl with the Windex eyes, that's her mom, right?
Yeah.
And, Steven Tyler got her pregnant in the 70s, but he was a fucking mess. I mean, he wasn't around to raise anybody. So then she was a fucking mule, a muse. I don't know why I said mule. I guess she used to also bring heroin in and out of the country.
Okay, that too.
So, her and Todd were in love and they lived together. And Todd is a stand-up guy and he was just raising Liv like his own, even though he always knew that it wasn't his baby. And I guess they didn't talk about it much. But then as she got older, she got the news, no, your dad is Steven Tyler. And then, BB and Todd Rundgren weren't together anymore, so I guess she doesn't see him as much. But that's her favorite song, And actually, Chris, after she brought it up, played it on her way out, and she just went, "Oh," because he was really nice, and he was a great guy with her, and she's the sweetest thing in the world. So, but I've met all those people, all the people that little thing. It's just like, rock and roll soap opera. It's not probably all that unusual in any town in America, but all the people we're talking about are famous. But every time that story comes up, someone steps on it with this story about, oh, my friend's mom used to go to his concerts. I mean, really. No.
That was a good impression of me. I'll give you that.
But seriously, that was as far away from where we were going as possible.
I didn't know where we were going.
I could have said, oh, my uncle had his album. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't mean anything.
It was interesting that she was a groupie. Or a Band-Aid.
I am sitting here talking about Liv Tyler, a star. You know what I mean?
As a little
girl being kind of, raised. And B.B. Buell, who else? I know she was with Elvis Costello and everybody, I think Mick. Can you imagine that?
No, that lineup.
I can't imagine everyone being like, oh, that's the chick,
And then to find out, like, if you're a kid and you're just like, oh, I thought Todd Rundgren was my dad. Oh, it's just some other iconic, music rock guy.
Who I look exactly like.
She must have, I should have saw this coming.
Yeah. Well, she said, I think there was a thing where she didn't talk about it on our show, but she said, like, as soon as she saw him, she's like, oh, I get it. That's my dad.
Oh, I get it.
That person who looks like me in the future. But Liv Tyler is just so stunningly beautiful and really, really cool. So
she's such a beauty. I've always loved her.
Yeah. Well, didn't your friend have a cousin that used to go to all her movies?
No.
It's okay. It's good. You keep me on my toes. You're always like, I don't know which way I'm going with this. Vito got to come into this room earlier today, and he was very excited about it. I don't know the amount of times I said I love the guys to switch out. I want Jen on the boards and stuff like that. Never happens. Unless I say, here's your schedule today. You know what I mean? Like if I was Belichick, I'd have to say on every play, remember this play you block, or everybody would just stand up and not block.
I like to get me on the board. Maybe one day, me on the board, you on the phones. I
would do that in a heartbeat. Let's do it right now. Let's everybody just go around. And I'll be on the phones going like this. Yes, can I take your call, please? They've moved on from that. All right, I'm going to put your name up wrong and be inconsistent with all the people who run the phones. Because I'll look up and I'll just see like, it's shit dick from Ethiopia. And I go, that can't be right. That can't be somebody's name.
I say let's just Chinese fire drill this room. And I don't know if that's something we can say.
I know it isn't. The Chinese hate that. They go, look, every fucking we're like anyone else at every light. We're not jumping out of the car and running around. And by the way, kids, it's not amusing and it's not cool and it's not scary. It's just nothing.
That's one of those things we'll look back on and be like, kids, in my day, we were so offensive. We used to say Chinese fire drill, and we didn't know why.
We didn't even say that.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I'll just say it rhymed with link and leave it at that. Well, remember when Jewish people used to say we're going out for chinks?
Mm-hmm.
And now everyone's like, oh, you're always fucking talking about the Holocaust. You're Holocaust and those people.
Think about that.
Let that into your head for a minute. All right, we're going to make an announcement. We did the show only twice on the air, Street Jokes, which I wanted to do another one. But we just run out of time, don't we, Chris? We're just so damn busy with stuff. We're just so damn busy. But then Patrick from the stand said, hey, would you guys like to do Street Jokes here? I'll get you a bunch of, great comics. I'm like, I don't know if that would work. And then I brought it up at a table at the stand because all the comics always sit up. And then guys started going into jokes. And I'm like, oh, this could really work. We got to get the format together. I don't know whether we want to do 4 comics, do a couple rounds. I don't think it has to be a contest.
Right.
But I do think that we should bust balls in between.
Definitely ball busting. But does someone have to be crowned like top street joker? I know people like a winner.
So. I think this is, it's not a pageant, okay? It's, what would you call it when you're just exposing something? It's
coming out.
Not a coming out. This isn't gay stuff, Chris. If you want to come out, you come out that night. I'll fucking say I accept this young dater.
So the premise is you come out with a street joke. It starts off as a joke, but then you tell your family you're gay at the end. It's a way to break the ice.
So I don't know. We'll do it. And it is going to be absolutely fun. And by the way, the stand has just been crazy good. The acts that are booked there. I'll announce, a little later the people that are even playing there this weekend, but it's nuts. Street Jokes is happening Monday, February 27th, 8 p.m. at the Stand Comedy Club in New York City. Go to theinterrobang.com to get free tickets. Now, you know us, you know how fun Comedy 101 is. And I'll make this announcement. So much fun that People are asking us to take it on the road. I'll get to that some other time, though. But this is about New York City street jokes. Now, it's 8 o'clock Monday, February 27th, 8 p.m. at the Stand Comedy Club in New York City. Go to theinterrobang.com to get free tickets. It's been a blast though, hanging down at the Stand. It's crazy good. All right, here's the lineup tonight, and I'm going to host tonight. Bonnie McFarlane.
Love.
Enough said.
Yeah.
She was there last night. And killed. By the way, she also looked really great. She got this shorter haircut.
Did she?
She had this really long, cool coat.
Is she still rocking those glasses? I thought that was like such a sexy look she was doing.
She's going in, when her directions are in like every which way. Every which way. But anyway, she was crazy, funny. So then she goes like this, and you'll love this. She goes, "This is my friend Morgan Murphy. She's going to come up and do a set tonight."
Oh man, I love Morgan Murphy.
Dude, I watched Morgan Murphy work last night. So she, you know how she's got all that red hair. And by the way, I've loved her since that Amy Mann video, right?
Yeah.
So she's got her like classic red hair, and she's wearing this big knit cap.
Mm-hmm.
And wearing this big winter's coat on stage. And I'm like already cracking up. I'm like, but she doesn't want to take her coat off. What she's got in those pockets, she's not taking off her coat. Then she goes on stage and fucking crushes it. Crushes it.
Yeah, I think she's so super. I've never seen her live, and I think she's incredibly funny.
Dude, really, really funny. Really, really funny. I'm trying to think of who else. Yamanika was there last night, and she's like, 10 o'clock. We're all standing here upstairs watching TV. I'm on roast battle against Kurt Metzger. So she's like a big girl, right? She does roast battle, and this is on fucking TV, Comedy Central, wearing this red fucking cat suit, right?
Oh, shit.
And she's up against Metzger, and Metzger's fucking, everyone will tell you he's the best writer in the world, and those two are buddies. And she just comes out fucking firing. And they were fucking throwing fried chicken at her and shit, right? On fucking Comedy Central. And she's picking it up off the floor and eating it. She's fucking crushes. I gotta get her in. She says she would come in. But anyway, you gotta watch that roast battle. It's fucking insane. And Metzger had been in that like accident like a couple days before, flies out to LA. And he's so bizarrely funny.
I saw a clip of it of her making a joke about him in the accident.
Yeah.
That like maybe I shouldn't give it away so people watch it, but it's crazy funny.
It's insane. Both of them were so
unexpected.
Funny. It was one of the best I've ever seen. And I'm not even crazy about that roast battle thing, but it's crazy. All right, so tonight I'm going to be there. Bonnie McFarlane, Chris DiStefano, Wyatt Cenac, Judah Friedlander, and Sherrod Small.
Whoa!
That's the show with me hosting.
That's an amazing lineup.
Now, tomorrow night, I'm going to be on that show and listen to this. Christian Finnegan, who's fucking crazy funny. Derek Gaines, and we're having him stop by later today. He's insane. Adrian Appalucci, Monroe Martin, and Artie Lang.
Man, the Stand is killing it.
Fucking killing it. And it's really incredibly fun every night. And everybody's just fucking bringing it every show. I mean, it's crazy. Like, you can't fucking be just like, I don't know, I guess I'll go up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'll go up and do something. You gotta be like, fuck yeah. Well, I was, the people that are treating this like as a home club is insane. That's why I know we're going to put a great list together. Patrick's going to work on it with us. So you want to definitely make sure you get your tickets before we even announce who the people on stage are, because it's going to be fucking hilarious. And then we'll turn it into some ball busting too. Street Jokes happening Monday, February 27th, 8 p.m. at the Stand Comedy Club in New York City. Go to the interrobang.com to get free tickets. That's the ibang.com to get free tickets. And you remember the first time that we did 101, we're like, I don't know whether, I guess we'll work it out when we get there. This one's going to be great, you can tell.
Yeah, and you want to be at the first one that we do live.
Sure.
It's going to be so much fun. And it's not only are you going to see really funny comics, then you're going to walk away with a bunch of street jokes, you can tell.
True.
It's the kind of comedy you're allowed to steal.
Right. And Chris should be bringing this up, but somebody put together a song for us, right?
Yeah, our buddy Sal in production.
Well, tell the story, because I don't know it. I need you to be in the moment.
So Sal was listening to the show. He heard street jokes. And he decided,
loved it.
He loved it. And decided, I got to put together a piece of production for street jokes.
Now, this is what's funny about that. So we do it, we did street jokes like a couple years ago. And then we're like, oh man, we got to do this again. We never did. So then not too long ago, I'm going, oh fuck, we should do street jokes again. Because the listeners know jokes that, we don't even know. And then I'm like, I wonder if we could ever do something with that. But I don't, maybe I said it on the air. I think I did. And then Patrick, is immediately like, yeah, we'll take it to the Stand. Which is always insane to me, right? Oh, we're a New York fucking club. And yeah, just come in and try to work out your idea. That's insane. I never want to be the kind of person who doesn't recognize that that's fucking insane. That this, club that's had all these iconic drop-ins over the years and shit, and everyone's always asked them to expand it, and because it's this really great intimate room, but it's just like what happened with Gotham years ago when it was that way, and everyone's like, well, can't we make it just this giant place? Maybe that would be cool. Then we could all get in. But then so he calls me on his own. And now Sal does this bit on his own.
Yeah.
See, it's weird. Sometimes things are supposed to happen.
It's meant to be.
TheInterrobang.com, Monday, February 27th, 8 p.m. at the Stand Comedy Club in New York City. Go to the ibang.com for tickets. So I haven't heard this yet. Let me hear Sal's song.
It's time once again for Street Jokes on Bennington.
A rabbi, priest, and minister walking to a bar. They say, is this some kind of joke? The premise goes too far. All the funny dudes in the neighborhood say street jokes rock, street jokes rock. Closet Brian Regan's veto from Queens say street jokes rock, 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 street jokes rock. I got some jokes from World War II. I tell them like any young men do. He was a joker and I am too. Oh, street jokes rock. Yeah, street jokes rock. So find a joke, tell a joke, leave us wanting more. Street jokes rock. 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 Street jokes rock.
Take my wife. Please.
Well, first of all, that's the greatest song ever done. But we also have to, credit Ian Hunter. But there's only one thing I disagree with.
What's that?
We're not going to be doing classic Brian Regan. That would actually be considered stealing.
And Vito's from Queens. Maybe that is not true.
Yeah, that's true too. But other than that, a perfect song.
I can tell you now that I will all weekend be like, Street Jokes Rock, Street Jokes Rock.
That is Friday, the 27th, 8 p.m. at the Stand Comedy Club in New York City. I'll just tell you, when I was sitting there at the table with a bunch of guys, and what happened is Voss said, I almost called your show with this, and then he told a Hitler joke that was fucking hysterical. So I'm like, I think we're going to do this. Patrick already contacted me, and we were kicking around everybody at the table, and then Voss says, okay, let's make sure that no matter what, we don't invite Martling. A guy who's made an entire life out of street jokes. We should actually bring Jackie in and have him host, and us just stand in the back. The problem is no other guests will get a chance to do their street jokes.
The idea of not inviting him. Oh, I didn't know that was something you'd be into. All right.
No. Oh, geez. That would have been perfect.
Do you have something that you could maybe...
Do I? I've had a joke line for...
Nothing good.
And then he puts out a joke a day on Twitter at 420 every single day.
420 funny.
The 420 funny.
You've also, I don't know how people do it, but you got to get on that email list too.
Yeah.
Because you get street jokes emailed to you once a month.
First of all, I'm on his email list, and the shit that I get is unbelievable. Now, this is up in the iBank today. The grossest movie ever made, they say, is at Sundance, and people were walking out. Now, first of all, I'm very surprised by this, that Sundance would be interested in booking the grossest movie ever made.
Yeah, because I think it's got like art film kind of vibes.
Come on, how?
But I watched the trailer for it, and it's one of those things where you could see it's really shock value based.
Right.
I know Tim Heidecker is in it. There's a couple.
Hannibal Buress.
Hannibal Buress is in it.
What? So this is a comedy?
I guess it's comedic in nature.
I didn't know this.
But it's supposed to be really surreal. It's a bunch of short stories, like almost short films strung together with kind of like a loose thread throughout. And there's just a lot of really shock value, really gross, gory stuff, gross stuff, sexual stuff. As many shocking visuals as they could get into one film.
George Clinton also shows up in this film.
P-Funk?
Yeah, P-Funk.
Joe in Virginia.
Hey, great song. Reminds me a whole lot of the Drew Carey theme from the 1990s.
Dude, that's
Cleveland
Ian
Rock.
Hunter's song, Cleveland Rocks. He just did a parody.
Of Drew Carey?
It's not fucking Drew Carey. Drew Carey put that on his show. It's Ian Hunter from Mott the Hoople did Cleveland Rocks. This is a very famous song.
No need to yell.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You know what? You're right. I don't understand how I live in a fucking world where people don't acknowledge Ian Hunter. You're completely right. I shouldn't have yelled, but I went crazy for a second.
Ian Hunter is serious too.
Love the show.
But I'm gonna send you a mixtape. Okay, there's a lot of. Why would somebody think that Drew Carey was singing that?
I like the idea that this guy's like, Drew Carey's so talented. He's also a great songwriter. He wrote the theme to his own.
First of all, I'm glad Drew Carey's name came up because this is the most amazing thing that ever fucking happened in the history of the world. So do you remember that the night before the inauguration, there was a protest in Washington? Mm-hmm. And there was a little kid that they interviewed on TV in front of a burning, I don't know what they were even burning. So this kid is like, yeah, I basically started this fire. Why? Because the president sucks, right?
Right.
So Fox, so the kid's hilarious and I'm laughing my ass off because I'm like, this kid is 9. He's fucking 9 years old and he's basically bragging about being an anarchist, right? So I'm watching Fox that night and they're like, what kind of parents have raised this kid? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And then, you would read that all over. It came out yesterday on TMZ This is Drew Carey's kid.
What?
Drew Carey had taken, find the TMZ so you can find the kid. Drew Carey had taken him to the inauguration. And then they had seen Drew Carey on the street, and I go, "You're at the protest?" He goes, "No, we're just here at the inauguration," and my kid wanted to see the protest. The funny part of, and now they're saying like Drew and his mom are mad at him and mad that he used the language, and you know, because first of all, Drew isn't fucking Jane Fonda.
No.
You know what I mean? He's a libertarian and always has been. But the kid, this adorable kid, the thing about it is, Drew let his kid just go off on his own out of protest, which could always go weird.
Started a fire.
This is a Seinfeld episode. This is why is Kramer on TV? All right, do you have the kid?
Yes, this is the news.
I don't want to see the news. I want to see when the kid, yeah, here it is.
Presidents, there's signs thanking President Obama. Obviously, it's mostly peaceful now. A fire broke out just behind us. This fire was started. In fact, this young man, you were participating in the fire. What's your name?
My name's Connor, and I actually kind of started this fire.
So why'd you start that fire, Carter?
It's Connor.
Carter. Sorry, why'd you start that fire?
Because I felt like it, and because I'm just saying, screw our president.
Okay, well, there you have it.
Holy shit.
That is the best.
Now, I don't know how Drew kept it off TV for like 5 days, 6 days, whatever it was, that it was his kid. Because that night, people were going, what kind of parents raise a child like this?
I love that he specified, not only am I going to be commenting on this fire, I kind of started that fire.
No, I kind of started that fire, and you got my name wrong. He's a very confident dude. But I think Drew and Drew's wife said the kid just got caught up in the excitement of the night, the way kids do. And I know, I was always the second person to chuck a rock. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, I don't know why. I mean, I shouldn't have. But at the time, we were chucking rocks.
But maybe it's something that's been, cooking inside him for some time.
Doubt it.
But maybe this was like the moment, like in the Blind Melon video, where the little bee just sees the other bees and it's like, these are my people.
No, I think it's closer to, we're all starting to kick Piggy. So let's jump in on it.
I love that he drops the mic on it too. Like he says it and then he just walks away, like interview over.
I kind of wonder if he knows that he fucked up though. Like, oh shit, I just got weird here trying to impress the crowd. You trying to impress them? You think they care about you? No. They're laughing right now because you're in trouble. They're laughing at you.
That's not the Carey way.
It's fucking, the funniest thing about it is like Drew can't say why he let his kid wander off in fucking Washington D.C. to begin with, and at a protest which can always go sideways
With a bunch of mass protesters. Most of these people are fucking.
Oh yeah, that's the anarchist part of this.
Oh yeah.
You know, the anarchists will show up at any protest, and for some reason it seemed like he had matches on him if he basically started.
He pretty much started that fire. Fucking kid's awesome.
Hey, I felt really bad when that caller said, "You don't have to yell at me." Yeah, you're right. I don't have to yell at you. I just got upset. I just love you and Hunter.
He's just like, I just thought Drew Carey wrote the song.
Oh, boy. Not the fucking hoople, dude.
But,
There's so much great music.
But even if he did write the song, it's still a very funny comment to be like, that kind of reminds me of it.
Yeah.
As opposed to
Street jokes rocks. Street jokes rock. Media, keep your fucking mouth shut and listen. Steve Bannon, Vito's old boss. Just fucking throwing haymakers.
How are they going to keep their mouths shut and report?
Just sit there and listen.
Oh.
Just fucking listen. Just point the mic at somebody else and listen for a while, you idiots. I don't know who put this up. I think Chris did, about the Patsbro who pulled the fire alarm.
Yeah.
And proving the fact that once again people are being able to say that New England cheats. No, they're offering that guy free wings.
So what was the deal? He pulled the fire alarm for?
This drunk Patriots fan, went to the hotel where the Steelers were at, where they're staying before the game, pulled the fire alarm to wake them all up in the middle of the night.
3:00 in the morning, he pulls the fire alarm. That's why you saw a very groggy Pittsburgh team.
Right.
They would have won that game, but they had to get up and stand out front. Along with Scarlett Johansson and Bill Murray just staring up at the building while some kid.
So now Hooters in Massachusetts is saying free wings if your name is Dennis Harrison. That's a kid's name. So even if you're not the actual dude, they'll also give you free wings.
Just for being
dumb as hell. I've never even met a Dennis Harrison.
There can't be another Dennis Harrison.
This is how they get free publicity. Hooters never buys an ad. They just think of weird things to attach themselves to the news, and there's Chris buying into it.
Isn't Hooters makes you happy enough? You don't need any more gimmicks.
I will give them credit for this. They don't go overly hot like some of the wing places. They'll like try to make it an unpleasant experience.
I like that.
I thought that you were a super hot guy.
Oh, fuck no.
No, he's very sensitive to heat.
I want it mild at fucking hottest.
I saw a thing with Joey Coco Diaz on some show eating, there was 10 wings and they progressively get hotter. And at the end of this, his shirt was just soaked from the inside heat.
Oh my God.
And that can't be good for you.
No.
That cannot be a pot. And it's not food. I don't know why you want to burn your mouth or why anyone thinks I'm going to make the hottest hot sauce ever.
It's also going to be damaging to like your taste buds and
can't be good.
Your esophagus.
Look,
if you're feeling a burn like that's a chemical burn.
Dude, I've done so many. All right, the interns are going to be eating the hottest thing, the hottest pepper, and every single time someone ends up and callers are going, you better get him to the emergency room. And I fucking said every time I go, we're not doing this bit again. I hate the bet. You better take him to the hospital calls.
Yeah, I mean, when we did that bit with Chris where he was eating the peppers.
Don's peppers.
Yeah, and everything was funny until he got it into his eyes and then he started freaking out and like flailing around and I thought he was going to go blind.
I forget what we were using. It was some kind of hot sauce. But Jay Mohr came in and rubbed it all over, who was it? It had to be Eastside Dave. And Eastside Dave had to go to the hospital. Now, from this same stuff that people eat, he had burns on his ass and dick.
Oh. No. That's not meant to go in the body.
No, I can't imagine what it does to the inside of your body.
No, that's sensitive in there. It's all mushy and soft.
Doesn't need heat, your insides.
Hey, these tickets to Street Jokes going fast. Go to theinterrobang.com to get free tickets. Street Jokes happening Monday, February 27th, 8 o'clock at the Stand Comedy Club in New York City. We're going to have really great comics, and then we're not going to let them do their act. And just doing street jokes. All right, somebody sent in a street joke with their ticket request. How come dinosaurs don't talk?
How come?
They're all dead. See?
Sad.
Instead of thinking about why... But by the way, the answer would have been because they're reptiles or, it's because they're dead. You like that, Vito?
I like a good dinosaur joke.
You like childish things.
I like a good, just blunt, just out there dinosaur joke. It gets me every time.
There's a genre called dinosaur jokes?
People make dinosaur jokes a lot.
I didn't know that. I have never made one before.
I think dino jokes are pretty common. So Vito and Jen told me a story yesterday, and let's call Jen in for this actually, that they overheard Chris say something absolutely insane.
Were they listening on the air?
No, this was private time. Well, it was work time. He was not in private. He was at his desk. And Jen, you can tell us, what was the situation? How did it start?
So the internet wasn't working like normal in the morning. And like Chris came in and he was super pissed off trying to get his work done. And he couldn't get it done because the internet wasn't working. So then all of a sudden, like, he's just like, fuck. he's just like, fuck, like, he wants to kill himself, and then the last part, like, everything was, you know, like, crazy, and then the last part was, I'm gonna suck my own dick. And I was just,
I said that. He went
and then me and Vito looked at each other like, what did you say he's gonna suck his own dick? Like, what?
This is what he's
Chris, you can't fucking do that.
while his coworker's in the room, while the door is open.
And he is considered, you know, their boss.
He's their
which
boss.
puts them in a very fragile position.
And Jen feels like one of us, but she's still new. She's still learning the ropes, and she's going to hear her new boss.
I'm not going to put up with that shit, so it doesn't matter whether you're new or not. I'd be like, stop talking that way.
Now, bear in mind, I couldn't even open up an email. Like, that's how bad the internet was here.
Why would you want to suck your own dick, Chris?
I remember
Who are you punishing then? Who are you punishing and who are you pleasuring?
His exact words were, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. I'm gonna fucking throw myself out the window. I'm gonna fucking hang myself, and then I'm gonna suck my own fucking dick. Those were his exact words.
That he's gonna suck his own dick.
I don't remember yelling, I'm going to suck my own dick.
Why are you even talking about throwing yourself out the window or choking yourself or whatever?
Because it's very frustrating when I come to work and then there's no internet. I mean, my phone should be faster than the computer.
So why don't you let Dawn know?
I did. I sent an email.
Did you include that you were gonna suck your own dick?
It's impossible to work here. And by the way, you have a computer at your home. You don't need to come rushing in here. You know that you got bum Wi-Fi here.
That's why
you got 1990s Wi-Fi at 1990s prices.
That's him starting up every morning.
It was just horrifying. And I don't remember saying I'm going to suck my own dick. That makes no sense.
But two people swear to it.
I think they're liars.
But he does do like white hot anger where he starts to say things that don't make any sense. And then like a blackout, he doesn't remember saying them. So later when they're referenced, he's like, I don't think I said it like that.
There's no way.
Who gets blackout angry? No substance involved, blackout angry.
When the fucking internet doesn't work is when you get blackout angry.
Why are you screaming that you're going to suck your own dick at insane volumes? And by the way, you can hear everything through those glass.
You can't hear everything. I make them close the door.
Dude, you need to calm the fuck down though.
I do. I have anger issues. I have flare-ups.
Yeah.
All right. So, Jim wrote in and said, hate to snitch, but that dinosaur joke comes straight out of Brian Regan's act. His kid wrote that joke. So the iBang sends me a joke that's really ripping off Brian Regan's kids. This fucking song suddenly becomes true. You could do classic Brian Regan.
It turned out true.
And just when I said that will be something we don't do, we do it moments later. Keith in Idaho.
Hey.
Yes.
I just wanted to say that that shit is some of the funniest shit I have ever heard in my life. And I laughed so hard that I almost wrecked my car.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, but yeah, from the outside, I guess it is amusing that a person talks that way.
I feel crazy.
You are crazy.
Like saying I'll kill myself or shoot myself in the head.
Both are insane.
You think that's crazy?
Yes.
And that after you kill yourself, you're going to suck your own dick.
In heaven.
Because you'll be so happy it's over.
Would I suck my dick if I blew me in heaven? All right, Wiki just wrote to me, if Chris had told me he was going to suck his own dick, I would have fixed it earlier.
Please.
I didn't think it was proper to put that into an email. Todd, I'm going to suck my own dick.
All right, dude. Stop screaming that. You're really, seriously, this is indefensible if it ever gets to HR.
Oh, geez.
Indefensible.
I know, that's the conversation that I have to say to Jen. I have to plead with her. Hey, if you could just not let HR know that Chris yelled and
you shouldn't say that. That gets you caught up in it. You gotta be with me hey, she's got every right to do whatever she needs to do. Because you're gonna be seen as a suppressive person, or SP, as we call it in Scientology.
All right, Jen, and I stand by any decision you make.
Exactly. She's going to end up with her own office.
Oh, Jesus. I gotta watch my mouth. I gotta stop. I gotta figure out how to get the anger.
You gotta
out of
go
me.
work a blue collar job somewhere. You know what I mean?
I don't think that even screaming that a blue collar job.
You should be seriously. The only job that you could probably do is unloading bootleg whiskey off of a fucking boat. There's no other place that you fit in. I'm actually very proud of myself for coming up with that weird fucking concept on the run.
But it's a perfect job for him.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely perfect until the mob kills him one day because he saw something take place. Jen, let me apologize, and I'm going to play the part of the company and say, help yourself to any piece of furniture to take home today. Any piece of furniture here. Go ahead and take it home.
I just didn't know how to react. Like, I just looked at Vito like, what do we do? Like, is he going to do it? I don't know what's happening. Like, I was very confused.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get you some new shoes for the car. I'm going to send 4 white wall tires to your address. Because that's what it takes. It takes that kind of quick thinking. You know?
I know. Because otherwise, you ignore the problem, she turns around, she owns the company. It's going to be called Sirius XGen.
Which would be odd. But this is Stanley, again, causing nothing but problems.
I don't want to cause problems. I want to solve them, you know? And I didn't know I was going to make everyone feel so weird by yelling that out. Because I didn't know I was going to yell it out. Because it just came out of my mouth. I got to control myself.
It doesn't just come out of your mouth. Somewhere in that tiny fucking brain of yours, you have to think. And that reptilian brain has to have some kind of thought. And then instead of editing, you just spew it out into the world.
I got to keep it inside. That's my problem.
You're one of those people that have, like when you stab your wife, you stab her 80 times and then you're just looking at your bloody hands.
These hands.
What have I done?
I could see myself being a multiple stabber.
Oh my gosh.
Why don't you put that on your fucking handle, your fucking dating app handle. Did you have a date last night?
No, I didn't. The night before I had one tonight, and then I have one Sunday.
Who are you with tonight?
Tonight's Mr. Big. The lady I've seen multiple times.
Mr.
Weird
Big.
that you call her Mr. Big.
I don't know. It's odd.
That's short for Mr. Big Cock.
No.
I think it's a perfectly fitting nickname.
And then who are you with Sunday night?
The Honduran girl.
That second date?
That's second date, yes.
Good. You're going to help her get into the country and her family as well.
Oh, yeah.
The girl that you said you had trouble communicating with. You're gonna...
And she also set her hair on fire during the date, which was a fucking cluster.
To try to get out of there?
I had to put her hair out.
It was a cry for help.
Jen is telling me that Chris has been flirting back and forth with a guest of the show, which is also, you know, a no-no in this business.
Really?
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne.
So, the Matrix, huh?
That's how you would flirt with Lawrence Fishburne.
The Matrix, huh?
Did you like that?
Yeah, that's not flirting, what you're doing right now.
Oh my God.
Here's our buddy Chuck.
Hey, Ronnie, I was just wondering, does Chris think he'd be able to suck his dick good? Has he been practicing? Has he
Let me tell you
much
something.
about dick sucking?
I don't... With his build, the only way that he's going to suck that dick is if he slices it off first.
Well, first of all, Chris ain't making it to heaven. That's for damn sure.
That's mean, Chuck.
And tell him that there ain't no life jackets for the lake of fire, man.
That is
Don't be
true.
burning up.
That is true.
I'll see you, Ronnie.
All right, thanks for getting religious on it. You got smacked in the side of the head with some religion right there.
All right, first of all, I mean, if I were to be able to do that to myself, I'm sure it would just be, like, it wouldn't be sensual. I would just be banging my head.
Sensual.
I just don't want to be so blunt.
I would just be banging my head.
I'm so confused. What is this?
What is the
premise?
I would just face fuck myself.
Okay.
Okay, that was the case that blunt was the answer because it was too confusing otherwise.
And also, how would a life preserver jacket help in a lake of fire if I'm fucking burning? Why would I want to be above the fire?
First of all, it's never a life preserver jacket. That's like wearing your coat jacket. He's right though. You're going to drown in a lake of fire.
And whatever happens, happens. Well, I can at the deathbed, I could give it all up, right? Or what's that? That and when a priest comes.
Ew, Chris.
So disgusting.
Like, arrives
It's not street jokes time.
You're our fucking street joke. I should just bring you up and collect a prize. So I also don't think Jen should be reading your flirty emails.
Yeah, why do you have her CC'd?
See, I was replying all. That was my problem. I'll just stick to just straight replies.
Why does anybody need to send stuff after the people have left? That means that our business with them is done.
Well, she asked for him to come back. She wanted him to be a part of the email.
Oh,
so it was both ways.
Perhaps.
See, I'm not a creep, everyone.
Well, no, wait. What do you mean she asked for him to come back?
See, she made like a reference to
Yeah,
me
she was
in
like,
an email
oh,
she replied all
yeah,
to.
don't feel free to, keep responding to this email sort of thing.
You're the one that needs to be professional.
I am professional.
Then why are you flirting with a guest who's already left? Did you write to Lawrence Fishburne and go, oh, great having you on the show? No, of course not.
Someone has to have someone so pretty here.
Because he's not a pretty former sex worker. What a dunce. Seriously. You should sit with a fucking dunce cap on.
I can't imagine the cringe.
Street jokes rock. Street jokes rock. Because Cleveland sounds like street jokes.
Not quite, but he made it work.
It's a catchy tune.
Yes, the tune part of it has always been catchy. You're starting to sound like that guy who thought Drew Carey was just singing his own fucking song at the beginning.
He's like Frasier. Tossed salad and scrambled eggs.
That's actually a good fucking bit. How many people have sang their own theme songs?
Who else?
Well, there was a show called Making It that the guy who was the I'm a Pepper guy, remember he was in that show and he had a song, and was also in the movie Meatballs. But so Making It was the theme and the name of the show, and then he was also singing it.
Did this song was like popular without the show? Like, did it?
The show bombed and the song went to number one.
Because I was like, I know this song and I know the lyrics to the song, but I don't know anything about this show.
No, the Saturday Night Fever had just come out. It was a big hit, so they said we need a disco TV show, and one of the characters is, I don't know where it went away there. I don't have the guy's name. But he was like supposed to be the John Travolta of the show. I'll show you where he is right here. His name is Greg Anatucci. And then if you see The Sopranos, he was like one of the real old dons on that show. Yeah. Basically his entire life is being played out on TV, where he went from the young hot stud to the crazy old man.
You know what I really love about this opening is so that every character does the like turn around like, oh, it's, I'm featured on the show. Except for it's not in like a real world situation. It's just like in front of a blue screen.
Right. That was the 70s thing to do. Turn around and let everybody know that you're on a TV show.
And I'm here too.
Bill, Cleveland.
Yeah, Will Smith in The Fresh Prince rapped his own.
Oh, yes. Very, very good call.
Perfect.
One of the most popular songs of all time. This is another one of those songs that we were talking about that you could blow a party up with, where everybody will start.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In college, my roommate was from Japan, and we had like a bunch of people over, and we put on Fresh Prince, and she was so freaked out that everyone knew every word. She's like, "What is this? Why does everyone know this?"
Well, I'm sure if we were in Okinawa, it would seem fucking strange when you guys all know something too. Mike in Utica. Mike.
What about Archie and Edith?
Oh, very good. The Archie and Edith used to sing their own theme song at the beginning of the show. The All in the Family theme song, of course. You gotta put the volume on.
Songs that made
lead the hit parade.
Guys like us, we had it made. Those were the days.
Now, this didn't climb the charts. Oh, you guys are looking at this like, what is this? This was the biggest show of the 70s. And that's Chris's neighborhood right there in Queens.
Story Queens.
Isn't it funny how it looks exactly the same?
No, that's Ditmar's. That is Ditmar's neighborhood. Nothing new's gone.
Nothing's changed except for those houses are now $950,000. Bill in Ashbury Park. Bill.
Hey, how's it going, Bennington?
Good, man.
Joanna Kearns and Alan Thicke, the parents on the Growing Pains, sang their theme song.
Well, and I think Alan Thicke wrote it, and he wrote a bunch of theme songs before he had his own show. Sandy just waved, and you always ignore. No, that's not him singing. I can't be, right?
No, I know this song, but I didn't think that was him singing in the intro.
No, I don't think so either. Paul in Philly, line 7.
Hey, how you doing, Ron?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, listen, I believe Lee Majors sang the theme of the Fall Guy.
The Fall Guy was, and it was also very controversial because he brought up the name of his ex-wife. Here's John, Long Island.
Hey, what's up, Ron?
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but didn't Nell Carter sing the theme to Give Me a Break?
You are 100% right with that. That's a good one.
I made it to the top.
What year is this? Like
this is the 70s also.
It's a popular thing in the 70s.
Well, 70s used to have a 3-minute song to start every show. Up until Jerry Seinfeld just had nothing. Before then, you wanted to have a long song that told the story of the show. That's what we needed in the 70s.
Just in case this is your first time with us.
Yes, you're able to follow along completely. Let's go over to line 8. D in Florida.
Hey, what about the show Alice, sung by Linda Lavin?
That is true. There's also, and this is based on this is based on a movie by Marty Scorsese, and then the TV show didn't remind me of all of it. Sorry. Let's go over to, here's, Rob in Jersey. What's up?
Hey, buddies, what about Family Guy?
Family Guy. Chris is getting to it. Let's go to Jesse. Jesse in Washington.
How I do?
Hey.
I'm thinking Chuck Norris with Walker, Texas Ranger.
This one I'm not sure of. I don't think I know this.
I did not know that was him singing.
Well, I don't know the show really, so let's take a listen. Here is Will in North Carolina.
Hey, Ron, how about One Day at a Time, sung by Bonnie Franklin?
I don't think I remembered that this was Bonnie Franklin at the time.
I think it was. Is that, well, it's not that Alice. I know Alice sang her own song.
We just did Alice, yeah.
Okay, but I think she did One Day at a Time.
All right, let's listen. That's some kind of remix that you're doing. Let's go to line 5. This is Mark in New Orleans.
All right, how's it going?
Hey, buddy.
Laverne and Shirley.
Laverne and Shirley did do their own theme song. This is actually very common. That? Yeah, this is very common, I guess. That's not them singing. They only did that
just the opening.
Thing, so I'm not going to give it to them. I think you've got to sing the majority of the song. All right, hold on. Let me go to line 4 here. Here's Dave in Columbus. Dave.
Hey, Ron. The most obvious one, I think, would be Green Acres.
Now, Green Acres, which we're saying, where's the Trump parody on that, since his wife won't move and she also has the accent. This might be the greatest song of all time. Again, a storytelling song. Now, by the way, what an abusive man he is, right? He's forcing her away from...
New York is where she'd rather stay.
Yeah. And you're rich enough you can keep fucking both. Let's go to, no, I'm not going to do that one. Let's go to 8 here. Dan in Jersey. Dan. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, Ronnie? Jason Schwartzman sings the theme to Bored to Death.
First of all, Bored to Death was one of the greatest shows of all time, and I'll always be furious it's not on anymore.
And I love this song.
Yeah. Someone just sent me Chris Stanley's, looks like high school picture. And it looks like pre-op. A pre-op training.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
Look how rosy red those lips are.
You have very red lips. And like those little apple cheeks.
Yeah. But he's got a boxer's nose. And then just dead eyes. Even as a young man. Dead eyes.
Lifeless eyes. Doll's eyes.
Let's go to Sean on line 8. Sean.
Hey, the TV show 21 Jump Street, Holly Robinson Pete sang the theme song.
First of all, I did not know this, and I don't think I've ever actually watched this show, ever. And I didn't know that's where she came from. I thought she was just a football wife. All right, people were saying that Johnny Depp and Dom DeLuise's kids actually sang backup on the 21 Jump Street. I've never seen this show. I've read that Johnny Depp only wanted out of his contract right from Jump Street.
From Jump Street.
Yeah. Jimmy in Tampa.
Mahabone Bennington.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Was it, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't it the late great Alan Thicke that performed his own song for his show Sick of the Night?
Well, like I said, he wrote a lot of songs, and I think he had hits in Canada like his son does now. Once we've had the things on once, let's not put them up again, guys. Like we'd already yeah, we know. We got that one. Here's Don in Iowa.
Hey, guys, how are you?
Really good.
Hey, what about the Tony Danza show there? Was it Who's the Boss? Didn't he sing that?
Let's take a listen here and see if that's him there on that. I know.
It's so great.
Now, some of them, like the Brady Bunch, wasn't originally sung by the Brady Bunch, but like in the last year or so it was. So if you listen to the first ones, it's not the Brady Bunch on there, but when they got older, they started to sing it themselves.
Yeah, like I think the one I'm thinking of, I'm not even sure I've ever heard the opening with them singing the intro.
You gotta go.
This is the last season.
You can come out and see us at Street Jokes. It's our brand new, strange live show that we're doing. We're going to bring in some of New York's greatest comics to do street jokes, old jokes, jokes that no one knows who wrote these jokes. There's never been like a street joke that you said was done by somebody else. It's just something that's out there.
And in that way, it's like the oldest form of storytelling, like just when like people pass it down.
Street Jokes is happening Monday, February 27th, 8 p.m. at the Stand Comedy Club. Go to theinterrobang.com to get free tickets. That's the Interrobang or the ibang.com to get free tickets. We'll let you know who the stand-ups are going to be later. I'm looking over here, and Hard Rock Johnny wants to jump into this, and he's a friend of mine. I'm part of a text chain. A football text chain with him. Johnny, thanks for that picture of Earl you sent the other day.
Yeah, I figured I was with Earl. I said, you guys probably would like to see me and Earl hanging out, so.
Always.
While he was vibing, managing the vibe. So, mine's a little different. It's David Hasselhoff sang the end credits. So, the closing theme song to Baywatch.
Yeah, I don't know if that counts, but I didn't,
Although I think that's how it is in Frasier, right? Like, doesn't he not sing the first opening credits, but he does sing the second?
I think they switched it because they were using a Joni Mitchell song and then had to pay for it.
Right.
And they're like, fuck this. I never made it to the end of this show.
No.
So this is new to me. I'd already come 45 minutes before. All right, thanks, Jenny.
Later.
Let's go to Joe in Milwaukee. Joe.
Charlie's Angels. It wasn't really a song. He narrated the beginning.
No, that doesn't count, sir.
John Forsythe.
No, that's cheating. You've cheated the country. Craig in Madison.
Great.
Hey, Gail, when you do your impressions next time, you have to add the little girl that's going to see Trump. Remember that one?
I will have to brush up on that one because I remember it was like a viral video of a girl who's just crying in love with Trump. I love you, Trump.
So anyways, this is a definitive one. I thought someone would have said this a half hour ago. It's the Partridge Family, David Cassidy singing Traveling Along.
Well, it's a hell of a song, too. Here's Dave in North Carolina.
Hey, Ronnie B. Hey, I got a good one here. WKRP in Cincinnati was sang by Richard Sanders, who played Les Nessman.
No way. No fucking way. Seriously?
Fucking way. Listen to it.
Dude, I'm freaking out right now.
Well, I'm on. That's awesome that I'm freaking you out. This is great.
Cincinnati, WKRP.
Let's check the facts on this, because I want to send you into the pretty good prize closet if you're right.
Oh, cool. Okay.
We have our fact checkers working on it right now.
Vito, I want you to fact check too. Put everything else in your life on hold.
Literally on hold.
Wikipedia saying it was performed by Steve Carlisle.
Oh!
I've been wrong all my life.
An urban legend
do that to you.
circulated at the time that Richard Sanders had sang it, but it was a Steve Carlisle.
You know what, Dave? I'm going to put you in the pretty good prize closet for just lying and giving me the start of my life.
You know what?
Congratulations.
But it does, I get where the thing, because it sounds like Les Nessman a little bit. This show was about doing radio, in Cincinnati. And it was just a silly comedy show. But then in 1978, there was a stampede and in Cincinnati at a Who concert, and something like 7 or 8 people were killed. And then the show did a serious thing about...
Like a special episode?
Yeah. It's like, it's all that festival seating. What we need is real ticketing. Everybody being assigned a seat. That way people won't, try to push their way into it. And I'm fucking watching at home going, nobody wants to be assigned a seat. You know what I mean? You want to come fucking running in and rock out. Little did I know, look where we are now. No one can fucking move anywhere. We pen people in. But they all had like lit candles and stuff. Yeah, we're all going to go down and join in with it. So it's tough when something like this happens. I'm like, you're really not helping. None of the parents feel better that this is out there. All right, let me take a break here. It's Friday. Going to remind you again, Street Jokes. Come out and see the Bennington show in New York City. Street Jokes is happening Monday, February 27th, 8 p.m. at the Stand Comedy Club in New York City. This will sell out fast. We're going to have some great comics involved that night. Don't even want to give the names out because I don't want a Cincinnati Who-style riot. Okay? This will be assigned seating. Not festival seating, man. That was Venus flytrap. Maybe if we could do something about this, maybe one good thing will come out of it. We'll be right back. Bennington. Family's driving me nuts. You gotta bring the fucking sound down, Vito. Like you're not a lunatic. This was still another day you didn't know how to end up in this room, huh?
Yeah.
Nice dead air. I give you the opportunity all day to talk. You sit there and you go, yeah. All right, it's the Bennington Show on a Friday. Ron Bennington, Gail Bennington.
Yep.
Tickets are going crazy fast for Street Jokes that we're going to be doing at the Stand. I'll also be at the Stand all weekend long with just a crazy lineup of comics. I heard a story out on the sidewalk in front of the Stand. I don't want to say who told it to me.
Okay.
But in New York City, you always meet people who know people, blah, blah, blah. So, the Queen of Christmas is now who, Chris Stanley?
Mariah Carey.
Yes. Good. Just seeing if you're paying attention.
I am.
Supposedly, I was told by this person who has some people in the know that Mariah Carey, who has 4 people with her at all times, doting on her. Makeup, hair, But that's almost like in a 24-hour a day, right? And they drop rose petals at different places before she sits down or walks along. They said when she flies, and she flies private, she needs to fly naked. She likes to be naked in the plane with just her rose petals or whatever she's having.
No, they cannot.
There was no reason for these people to lie to me. I met them, we were talking, and I think it's a wonderful thing for two reasons. Number one, we need some bigger-than-life stars. There's not many left. I'm going to say her and Kanye are kind of 1980s nuts.
Right.
And I need that. You know, in the 80s, when you had both people like Prince, Sting, Michael Jackson, Billy Idol, I mean, real over-the-top big people. We just don't have that anymore.
And, like, you have to buy into your own hype. Like, you
got to live it.
You have to convince yourself that you deserve every bit of success that you have because that's who you are. Like,
Right.
that's actually who you are. Like, Mariah Carey, I actually picture her life similar to, like, that moment in What a Way to Go when they're just in the champagne glass bed.
Yes.
Like, that's her.
That would probably be her on an off night. That's her on a Wednesday.
But the idea of preferring to fly completely nude, just in her own comfortability.
Just love it. Just love to be naked up here.
Why does she love to lounge so? It's like her favorite thing.
She's a cat.
She is. She is a cat.
But she's bigger than life. Like, here's the thing about, like, me hearing that story and you not knowing whether it's true or not, but it seems like it could be true. That was every Michael Jackson story in the 80s. Of the sleep chamber and the monkey that he had with him. Like, some of it, like, that can't be true. But you could picture it happen, so any urban myth just became truth. And the same with Prince. And I remember one of the weirdest Prince stories was they said that he would go around on, I don't know, it was Sunday mornings or whatever, and knock on people's doors and try to get them to be a Jehovah's Witness. And I would have joined. I would have said, come on in, Prince. Tell me what I got to do to join this. Just so I could spend a little time with him.
Immediately, I'd be like, and you'll be there?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're always going to be, all right, great, I'm in.
I will say this about the 1980s. You're either a Michael Jackson person or a Prince person. Anyone who says, oh, both. Yes, that's everyone, you idiot.
But you have to choose.
Yes. We all say both. Just like Beatles and Stones. No one goes, I only like the Beatles or I only like the Stones.
Now, in your decision making, you can also, like, we're just talking about 80s Michael Jackson. Like, you're not even thinking about baby Michael and his angel voice, right?
You know what? I'm going to throw everything into it. The full lifetime of them. You could do 80s if you want to, because that's where they both were probably at their, record sales peak. But you got to do both.
All right. I choose Prince, but it's very difficult
over Michael Jackson
to turn my back on baby Michael in particular, who has the voice of like a baby angel.
You could have just left it angel. All right, I'm going to go to Vito now. Vito?
I mean, Michael Jackson, like, he was those festivals he did where there were just people going all the way back fields and fields up until, like, when he died is crazy. And then when he's in the Jackson
first of all,
5,
you're not even making any sense. He never did festivals.
I don't know what to call it. When he did, like the festival setup where it's like a stage in the middle of the grass, I don't know what those are called.
A stage in the middle of the grass. Are you talking about the shows that he did in Europe?
Like just like an outdoor
festivals
concert?
In the United States.
I only know, though, whenever I see those nowadays, it's like a festival, so I didn't know, like, I've never seen a concert like that other than a festival.
You're not making sense.
There's outdoor.
Now, first of all, you're like Donald Trump. You're just saying numbers. Just numbers.
Yeah, mine was a heartfelt decision that I had to make.
Yours was based on art and merit. Put Jen in here. Jen, who basically wasn't really alive for any of this. She was only going to know the mythology of it. Are you Michael Jackson or Prince?
Oh, I love Michael Jackson.
Over Prince?
Yeah. I listened to more Michael Jackson growing up than Prince, for sure.
Chris Stanley.
As a child, I fucking loved Michael Jackson. Love Moonwalker.
First of all, let's stop for that, because this is the first I've ever heard it. The fact that you loved him. Did you attempt a moonwalk?
Of course I did. As a little kid, yeah.
I can't believe that. I am stunned right now.
he just loomed. He was just a giant figure. Loved Michael Jackson as a child.
This is great.
I love it.
Yeah.
But as an adult, I have to say Prince, because I think he was the better musician.
Well, first of all, he is an actual musician. You know what I mean? He could play, any instrument, and was sincerely one of the great guitar players of all time. But you look at this, from a songwriting point of view, who do you take? Michael Jackson or Prince? I don't think that one's close. I think that's 100% Prince.
Yeah.
From musicianship, who do you take?
Prince.
And then again, it's not even close. As a dancer, who do you take? Michael Jackson. But that's not as far away as you could think, because Prince could fucking dance.
Yeah. I mean, just think about, like, those I always think of Prince doing that little tiny step dance.
He's great.
In Purple Rain.
Yeah.
It's like the best dance move I've ever seen.
Now, style, Prince. Not even close. All right, now let's say iconic concert moments that have been videotaped. And you always have to have that in your career. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think of, the Stones on the 69 tour, the Beatles up on top of the building, the Elvis comeback tour. There's got to be something that made TV. Michael Jackson, it's Motown 25. The first time that in a live setting, he breaks out the moonwalk and explodes the country.
Right.
Everyone goes crazy. Prince, you're looking at two different occasions. Super Bowl, greatest Super Bowl of all time.
Yeah.
Fucking just ripping it up, the Purple Rain in the rain. I mean, when people go, Super Bowl halftime suck. That Super Bowl halftime was better than the Super Bowl that year. It's the only thing people remember out of that shitty fucking mud game.
It's all I can remember.
And Prince, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Ridiculous.
Once a month I'll put that on and just go, holy shit. Look at fucking Tom Petty trying to fucking figure out what's going on.
Now that was the disappearing guitar move. He chucks it out and it just disappears up into the ether, never to be seen again.
He just walks away with a smile on his face. It's fucking amazing.
Hey, Robert, Birmingham.
Yeah, hey, Ron. Yeah, Michael and Prince seem pretty close until you take Quincy Jones out of the equation, that creative force behind Michael on a lot of the stuff. And now if you're just talking about raw Michael and Prince, it's got to go to Prince.
Well, I see where you're coming from with the Quincy Jones stuff. But ask Quincy Jones if Michael wasn't involved in every moment of everything. I mean, he wasn't doing a Bob Dylan, let me come in and lay down my tracks and leave. Quincy talks about Michael as if he's talking about a genius. And Quincy is a fucking genius. Now, Gail had the extra thing of Michael as a little kid, the Jackson 5. I mean, he was a rock star at 10, 11 years old. A fucking rock star. I mean, he was one of the biggest acts on Motown. All right? Where all those people are. And, Smokey Robinson came in and talked about Michael because I told him I never got past Michael as a little kid. He goes, there's no reason you should. You should be still fucking sitting there thinking about Michael as a little kid. I'm still thinking about it.
Because I listen to, young Michael Jackson. I get chills. I get goosebumps listening to him. I tear up if I see him little Michael performing. I don't even understand how he existed. It's just insane.
Because his father beat him into greatness. And you can't take away that. Prince had a father who beat him, but over some weird shit that had to do with his white mom. I really don't get the full backstory of Purple Rain or why Apollonia had to throw her big tits into that, into that lake. I mean, I don't get it, but it was there.
It happened.
Yeah, it did happen.
I also like Michael, early 90s Michael, because that's also the Michael of my youth.
Yeah.
Michael in the early 90s when he was light-skinned and just really feminine, but he hadn't quite messed up his face yet. To me, that's the first, black or white Michael. I think about that first and foremost.
Well, you guys were little then, but he was really lost. I mean,
I know.
Those songs are fucking bad, and
but I love
it was
them.
like he spent $18 million on this video, and you're like, why? What the fuck for? Why doesn't he just work on the songs? Because these songs aren't good. But then Prince was, got lost in the 90s too. Everybody has a struggle with the decade after their big decade. I don't give a shit who you are. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Paul McCartney. Someone's knocking at the door? Yeah, well, let them in and tell them to take away your fucking music for a while. Because you're fucking lost, dude. You don't even know what the fuck you're doing right now. Where's home, sorry? Uncle Albert. I saw in the paper today our buddy Jay Mohr has decided to drop his big sports radio show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had a wonderful run with it. He's a great talent. And for me, hopefully, this means there's going to be more TV, movies, touring, because he's great, man. He's great. But also turned out to be a really great broadcaster. Really, really ballsy what Jay Mohr did, too, because as the rest of his contemporaries are doing podcasts aimed at their own, audience, he's doing a syndicated sports show. Not an easy thing to do. And that's when you honestly have to broadcast. I mean, he had to put a hand behind his back every day. Because he's not just a straight sports guy. He can get as a raw dog with the best of us. So, bravo to Jay Mohr. Great run. To go out and do that. I mean, it would be tough for anybody to go out that even had a long broadcasting career to go out and do a show like that and to be able to pull that off. And he did it for many years after, being a TV star, movie star, stand-up star. He's had a fucking phenomenal career. It may be time for another Unmasked when he gets the time. One of my favorite of all time. A lot of people are bringing, because they're running it around that on iTunes now, that Jimmy Fallon Unmasked, and people have written to me saying that Fallon had never, I caught him right when he was doing the late night show.
Right.
But that he hasn't really done many hours of sitting down and discussing stuff. So people that are fans of his wrote to me and said, I've never heard any of this shit before. It never occurred to me.
Yeah, and especially when you land those that late night spot, it seems like there's no time to ever do press interviews.
And you also don't want to fuck up.
Right.
But we, at the time, we're like, oh, you got Conan's show. It's a big deal for you. And he was talking about going, viral, like why viral videos are. Now he's like the king of that. Ed in Vermont.
Hey, got a spy report for you, Ron.
Spy report.
Mike Connors, Mannix, dead at 91.
Well, this was yesterday's spy report.
Oh! I'm in Vermont. It takes a while to get here.
Yeah, that news is 24 hours old now. Now, this is always one of those things. Mannix means nothing to people alive now, but it was a very controversial thing when he did his show. He was one of those, primetime detectives. And this was the big controversy. He had a black secretary.
And that was controversial.
That was controversial. That the black, and she was incredibly sexy. And, they were, they didn't act, they never said they were a couple, but there was sexual tension.
And they were flirtatious. And
Not really. They would never let on to that. You couldn't do that at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But there was just some kind of real chemistry that his wingman was a black woman. That's how far the country's moved along.
And that was probably, at that time, the first time you saw something like that. I mean, there probably wasn't much interracial.
But there was zero.
Yeah.
There was zero interracial, in my opinion, until the movie Mandingo in the mid-'70s.
And that opened everyone up.
Well, yeah, because in that there was sex scenes that you could see at a drive-in between a black woman and a white man, and then in another side of it there was a white man with a black woman, and it was where we were going. Oh, so this actually happens. We didn't know.
How risque.
We didn't know in our segregated society. And it's just a terrible slave movie. I mean, it's fucking god-awful. It's blaxploitation, but written by white people, I think.
Yeah, and that probably shouldn't be.
Yeah, it's a white guy's version of blaxploitation. Well, I think it came from a book first. I think there was a very scandalous book called Mandingo.
It's something I've always heard reference, that movie, but I've never seen it. I don't know anything about what it's actually.
Well, Mandingo was actually a tribe, so like we say Comanche or Cheyenne or whatever we say in this country. Mandingo. And you wanted to get a Mandingo fighting slave. That's what it was all about. But what would Mandingo do with Massa's wife? Well, Massa wasn't around. That's what they call him, Massa. Crazy. But anyway, Mannix, dead. Mike Connors, 91. At the time, enormous star. Enormous.
Was Dick Van Dyke in that show as well, or no?
No, Dick Van Dyke was on the Dick Van Dyke Show.
I thought for some reason that he was like in that show for some reason.
Well, he had his own show after the fact. I don't remember what it was called. There was some kind of, was he a wacky doctor or something? I never paid that much attention to people's second or third shows. Trump and the Mexican president have agreed not to speak publicly. Well, it's a little late for that. Now, Trump is saying he's committed to the NATO alliance.
What? I can't keep up.
Whoever he just talks to, that's the direction he's heading in. I'm just hoping that he doesn't get to together with Drew Carey's kid.
I hate me.
Hey, up on the iBang, I want you to go and check out the comedy listings thing. It's done every week by Christine, our wonderful friend Christine, and Emily, who is Dan's roommate.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man.
Dan Perlman's roommate. Thank you, man.
I'm gonna check it out, man.
He never says I'm gonna check it out. You're just adding that now. I'm going to try to. Shia LaBeouf, how far is he from your house, Chris?
That is 3 blocks away from my home.
Why don't you go get on that thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on it this weekend. But I was watching it last night, and a bunch of Trump bros and alt-right guys were just dominating it, just like fucking with people. That was at fucking, I don't know, 3 a.m.
Yeah, well, 3 a.m.
Now, did he get in trouble for when he aggressively was yelling in that guy's ear?
No, but the second guy he got arrested for. There was a second guy that he supposedly pulled his scarf and maybe scratched his neck. Not a big deal, though.
Yeah.
But they did arrest him.
Yeah, he got booked and he got released. Over at the 114th precinct.
You're saying that like it's fun, but is that your precinct?
That's
is
my
that
precinct,
why?
yes.
Okay.
Have you been there before?
I've been there before, yes.
In cuffs?
No.
Oh.
For what? Yelling, he will not divide us? How's he going to get this to go on for 4 years?
I don't know.
If he could get it to go for 4 weeks, I'll be surprised.
I mean, it's going strong after a week, but I don't see it. 4 years, a month, people are going to be dead.
Yeah, why don't you just say, just start small. Just be like, this is this week. If it's a success, we'll continue on. You don't want to say 4-year commitment right out the bat.
You'll be like, I'll see you in a couple of years. As opposed to, is it going to close soon?
Well, first of all, there's no reason for anyone that's a tourist to go to Queens. Just none. No, he's outside of what's the museum?
The Museum of the Moving Image.
So it's a movie museum.
It's a movie museum, has old props from films. They had the Mad Men sets in there over a couple summers ago. There's a movie theater that's very nice.
It's a fucking Hard Rock for movies. Do they sell burgers?
They don't sell
burgers. Then I don't want to go. I'll stay with my friend Hard Rock Johnny.
It's a fucking Hard Rock. It's a Planet Hollywood.
I just heard this, that in L.A. the blues bar is being knocked down.
The House of Blues?
Yeah.
What?
Now, I remember when that opened, it all but bankrupted the Comedy Club. So now hearing that House of Blues is being knocked down and going away. It's just shocking to me.
Yeah, what's like the replacement? What's the reason? Just people not going out, or because other venues are getting more popular?
You went way deeper into this than I could give you anything. You know what I mean? Like, I know you demand answers. I always feel like I've walked into the president's office.
You're like Taffer right now.
Yeah.
I need a debriefing on this.
Phil in Montreal.
Yeah, the first interracial kiss on TV was back in 1968 on Star Trek between Captain Kirk and Lieutenant Uhura in the episode Plato's Stepchildren.
It was a forced kiss, too. Like, they didn't have command of their own bodies, and they were trying
No, there was some alien psychics who forced them to kiss. Yeah.
So was it seen as a negative then? Like, oh God,
No.
they're being forced to, okay.
No, it was incredibly sensual to the people of 1968. And then in 1969, I think, was the first show starring a black woman as the lead and main character. Julia was the name of that. And that was a very big deal. It was Julia was a single mom, I believe, raising a child.
Was that supposed to be in Philly, I think? Or
I don't have all the answers to all these things. I don't know. I'm just coming up with this off the top of my head.
I need to learn.
I know, but why do
I'm hungry for knowledge.
I don't see that you are. You're just hungry for questions. Why? Why is that?
I'm no different than when I was like 4 years old.
No.
Why?
Zero difference. Zero difference. Why? But why? What were you doing the extended laugh about, Chris, while I was on the phone? What was...
the John. I believe Gail was insulted by the John Taffer.
I was just confused why he was comparing me to John Taffer, and that's.
You're finding out. You want to know about bars constantly now.
I don't think that makes any sense.
It doesn't. But there's only a few references that Chris knows. If you understood the amount of time that he brings up John Taffer.
Like, you said it, and then immediately under his breath, I just, this is like a John Taffer situation. I'm like, I don't think.
It has nothing to do with bars.
In any way, I was being a John Taffer.
Vito, I'm trying to get you into the show today. And the last time I went to you had dead air and then a kind of effeminate, emasculating. And I'm trying. The glass keeps you out of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling being in a different room from you guys.
Right, we know that. What's something you would like to talk about before we move on? Oh my God, he has to go and look at... I can't stand people that when you say, what do you want to do? And they have to look at their phone or a screen. Just be in the moment. You can say, Ron, I don't have anything, and I'll be fine with it. I don't need you to research.
So, did you see that Ryan Murphy, the guy who did the OJ thing, like the next miniseries he's trying to do?
No.
He's going to take on the Monica Lewinsky scandal.
What do you mean take it on?
Like he's going to do it
20-some years ago. Well, here's all this shit is. Because they've already said there's going to be a thing about the Menendez brothers and fucking John Jr. dying. They think you nostalgia babies of the 90s just want to talk about the 90s over and over and over.
Well, I mean, like, I, for one, am pretty excited to see the Bill Clinton thing because when I saw it when I was a kid, but I still don't know, like, the full story, so I'd like to see it serialized. He didn't know what a beach
was yet, so he was very confused.
I was really confused. I thought he launched a missile or something. I was really...
He did.
Oh, he did?
All over that bitch. Look, it's not anything more than this weird 90s nostalgia that people won't let go of. The OJ thing... It was hammered in the 90s. You're never going to get anything that big again. The Menendez brothers was an attempt to have another OJ trial. Forget it. It ain't going to happen.
But, like, me personally, these are things that I saw in, like, my childhood that I didn't really understand when they were going on. I like serialized versions.
It's everywhere. Look like we have another curious kitten on our hands, right, guys?
Like,
he's the new John Taffer.
Fucking Taffer sits over there, and he won't. He could find out any of this shit tonight when he went home.
But you're saying what you want to, like like what would be the most interesting case to see brought to life?
Us millennials, we don't like reading books anymore. We like watching dramatized versions of things.
Please don't speak for the millennials.
I'm a millennial. I'm the voice of my generation.
You're just the opposite, dude, bro. You fucking wouldn't last 5 minutes in Brooklyn. You know why?
Why?
I don't know. I was just making it up. I'm sure you'd be fine. I'm sure there's not a borough you wouldn't do well
They'd
in.
Rape you.
But,
rape and beat you.
They would destroy you. You're like you're one of the millennials who ran out to Taco Bell because they had a new fucking shell this week or whatever it was. What was it?
It's a chicken shell.
So the number of people who said to me, "Oh man, I went to check out that new taco thing." So I go every time, "How was it?" "Terrible." And I go, "Do you realize that every time they release something, you guys all run out and then you can't wait to come back and tell me how shitty it is? Just like with your fucking comic book movies. You go rushing off to see it, then you can't wait to say how bad it sucks." You're fucking rubes, gents. You're a bunch of rubes.
All right, I will tell you one case that I would really like to see dramatized.
Okay.
The Joseph Fritzl case, which is that it was the guy in Austria who kidnapped his daughter and kept her in a cell.
That he killed, right?
I got so upset. I was obsessed with that case, reading about it every day. So freaked out. Every story that comes from that case was so disturbing. Yeah. And it has one of the most insane dramatic endings. So in this case, and I don't know if you're familiar with it, he kidnaps his daughter for years, many, many years. He rapes her. She has children by him. Some of them he takes upstairs and tells his wife, like, "Oh, like, our daughter ran away. This is just like, she sent another kid in a basket to us." But then he
started in a basket.
So some of them were upstairs. Some of them stayed downstairs and never saw the light of day, were raised in a hidden basement.
Like mushrooms.
Eventually, she gets out because one of the kids gets sick, and she says she's going to die. If we don't get her out, we got to take her to a hospital. As soon as she's alone, she tells everybody what happens. He's arrested. They go through the whole trial. What's that? For what? They go through the whole trial. It is the day of the verdict, right? So she hasn't been there the whole time. And finally she says, I want to be there and I want to see the verdict, but I'm afraid to face him. So they dressed her in disguise, and she's sitting in the audience, and all of a sudden he sees her and recognizes her through the disguise. This guy who has been cold and cruel the entire time starts bawling, says, "That's it. I'm done. I confess to everything." And they take him away. So he just stood there. Once he saw his daughter in the pain, he confesses to everything. It was insane.
Jesus.
Like, it's already like built-in drama.
Yeah. I didn't know any of those details. I just knew he had his daughter in a fucking basement.
But you didn't know about the kids? Oh, there were kids down there who were they had like really white skin, and like this kid was so tall.
How is this supposed to be a comedy? I'm not even getting it.
It's actually, it's a musical.
Oh.
It has to be done in a black box theater, though.
Oh, we'll definitely do it that way. Well, what year did that all take place?
This would be like the early to mid-aughts, I think, is when the case happened.
So Vito will be curious about that in another 10 to 15 years.
I would see the John Wayne Bobbitt fucking old shindig go down on television.
The old shindig. The John Wayne Bobbitt old shindig go down on television.
What? You are, seriously. A, retarded. You're on the radio, so you should know how to at least express yourself.
Oh my God.
And B, you're too young to be senile. Old shindig. The word shindig hasn't been used since 1964.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'd like to see his old shindig go down on television. You know what I mean, guys?
Carissa, Minneapolis.
Hey guys, I've got a spy report.
Spy report.
Mark Curry, I don't know if you guys remember him from hanging with Mr. Cooper, but
sure.
he's back on tour doing stand-up. I saw him a few weeks ago with Cat Williams' crazy ass, and he did really well.
Well, somebody was just telling us that, I can't remember, one of the people from Unmasked said that, hanging with Mr. Cooper was somewhat of a corny show, but he himself is hilarious stand-up. And they're going through with Cat Williams is unbelievable.
Yeah, it was pretty racy. I mean, he wasn't doing, the ABC jokes. He was doing real shit. Yeah. And what was funny is Cat Williams comes out behind him in a fur coat, throws the fur coat off, and he's in a cast. He's got his arm in a cast. And he's always into something.
Were you going crazy when it all happened?
I was. I would
have lost my shit.
Man, I want to see Cat Williams so bad.
You just got to stay out of trouble, Cat.
How's that going to happen? You want to see him, or do you want him to stay out of trouble? Yeah, he's one of the most interesting fucking people in the world. There's not a time that goes by. All right, Barry Katz is the person who brought that. Barry Katz.
Oh, yeah.
I believe so. I may be wrong. I hope not. But anyway, if you want to keep up and you're coming into New York City, go over to the iBang and check out the best shows while you are here. Our friends Christine and Emily do this every week. They go through it. New York listings. Chris, do me a favor. Tell me who's going to be at the stand tonight.
Tonight at the stand will be Chris DiStefano.
Oh, good. He's good.
Wyatt Cenac.
Oh, he's so great, so smart.
Judah Friedlander.
Oh, seriously. Yeah. One of my favorite comics of all time.
Ron Bennington.
Oh.
Yay!
Bonnie McFarlane.
Yay!
And Sherrod Small.
Wouldn't it have been funnier to put my name at the end like it was a surprise?
Yes, it would have.
I thought that was what he was doing.
Anybody would have. Anyone in the business of show, because I'm going, hey, who's going to be there? Like I don't know. So I'm looking to get tagged and have you guys go, what? Mm-hmm. But you put me in the middle.
Like a crazy person.
Yeah.
That's why I applauded in the middle. I was holding my
you applaud in the middle, and then you had to applaud the next 2 times. Bizarre.
What kind of shindig is that, Chris?
Bad one.
When are you going to bring in your guys in to do the show?
I have to book them soon.
Why do you get fake instead of saying, for all these years you've never brought them in?
How about I'll set a date
tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Saturday.
In March?
Or for February's already getting very busy. Tomorrow.
You said it tomorrow. As if you were one of your stupid fantasy things. But I like how suddenly agreeable he gets to it after 7 years. Oh, I'd love to have him in. But God, you brought this up.
Why do you also go one octave higher in your voice?
How much? How about tomorrow? Run.
I don't know, Mickey. We'll have to see.
Oh, my God.
You're the craziest fuck ever.
I'm a strange dude.
Immoral.
Yeah. Is that why you got Vito? Because Vito's even nuttier?
Yeah, I have to get someone crazier than me.
The man behind the glass.
I wouldn't say I'm crazier than Chris. I mean, he said he was going to suck his own dick after he committed suicide.
That's still nothing compared to you. Seriously.
That's jacket shit.
The number of people who put pictures of I'll just say your fat lounging pictures and say that this man will never suck his own dick. Look, we all get it. We all get it. That's why I said he'd have to sever that penis. Much like the bobbit that he's so craves.
The shindig he loves so well.
Can't wait for that shindig to get on the air.
What about John Wayne Bobbitt?
I mean, he has dick cut.
I'd love to see his whole shindig on TV.
I had that dickless prick on my fucking show once in Florida.
How was he?
Fucking whacked out 8 o'clock in the morning.
Really?
Whacked the fuck out.
So you could understand
he was like,
how it happened.
She wouldn't cut my dick off. Literally, a person who had their dick cut off came in to talk about it, and it was bad radio. And then we're like, okay, well, let's take a look at your sewed-on dick. No reason to even sew it on. There was so little. No reason to sew that on. Just like I would have thought it would have been better just to go without it. It would have been less embarrassing.
The shindig's going to be terrible.
It's our very good friend and Chris's best friend, Queen Elizabeth. Hello, Queen.
Hi. Hey, Ron. Hey, Gail. Chris. Gail, I just wanted to let you know that on Netflix there is a documentary on Joseph Fritzl and the whole case with his daughter. Yeah, and I know that I've watched it twice because I'm insanely obsessed with weird shit like that. And
is it trial stuff that you like, or just freaky freak stuff?
Freaky freak stuff, like you know, like that's just bizarre. And yeah, of course I click on it, and the daughter who he kidnapped, her name was Elizabeth. So, and and I'm like, oh, this is weird. Was me. Yeah. And he had his brother-in-law or his brother help him renovate the basement where he kept her, and he kind of prepped it for her to be down there. So he had planned this all out, and the first couple kids she had, they literally took them upstairs and left them on the doorstep, and then he would come around the back and come in and be like, oh, look, there's a baby out front. Like, he had his whole family fooled, and he had her write letters to say that she ran away from home and she didn't want to come home and everything, and her mother was just like, I don't know what's going on. And
why wouldn't the mother just say, look, I got to get down and use the washing machine once?
Well, right, exactly. In Philly, this would be found out in like 20 minutes.
I know.
Now, one of the crazy things, too, is when she was reunited with her mom and her other kids that were taken away from her, now met her kids, who were like the underground kids.
Yeah.
They were together for only a couple of days, and then she sent the mother away. And she was like, no, because I think she started to feel like she had a feeling that she maybe knew something about it. And she just didn't feel like she tried hard enough to find her.
In the documentary, they interviewed the family, and the family said, we just all were under the impression that Elizabeth just ran away. And, you know, kids would be left on the doorstep with a note. They knew they were her children, but they had no idea where she was at and everything. And they actually rented rooms out in their home. And the guy would tell them, you're not allowed to go in the basement. It was locked shut. And they said a couple times that, you know, they rented out to these two young 20-year-olds. And they were in their room drinking and getting high. And he said he was laying on the floor and he heard a baby crying and, like, things going on in the basement. He said, we knew somebody was down there, but, you know, we were not allowed to ask about it. So it was very bizarre.
Now, in the documentary, do they interview Elizabeth or any of the basement babies?
No, they interview,
because no one's seen them.
The family, and they show home videos where they're all away on vacation. And he said, you would never think in a million years that he had a daughter locked in the basement at home. Like, how are they eating? How are they surviving? Stuff like that. And and the family was totally, totally clueless. They said they were totally shocked when this came out. So
madness.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. So, but you might want to check that out.
All right, now you can see it on Netflix. Your dream came true in one time.
All right, honey. Bye.
Bye. I gotta hook up my Amazon thing.
Oh, yeah.
You got to resend that to me.
Yeah, I'll hook it up for you.
Forgot about it. What's on there? What's on Amazon? I get to look at pants or something? I don't know what it is. What do I do? I see pants being delivered?
It's books? 2-day shipping plus Amazon original programming.
What's the big Amazon show?
Transparent is the big one.
Transparent and Man the High Castle, which is the alternate history movie, TV show where the Nazis won World War II.
Oh, it's based on what's his name's book?
Philip K. Dick.
And then the Woody Allen is on that too, right?
Yes, yeah.
I never hear anybody talk about that. Never.
Yeah, I started it.
So what do I do? Watch it on the computer?
No, you can hook it up with your TV.
Yeah, there's apps for like the Xbox and like your television, yeah.
That's what I want. I run everything through my Xbox, which is insane to me. I was just looking at Netflix last night going, like, you never see any problem with it. Like, it wasn't that many years ago. You would go, like, I would get so mad at Chris. He's like, this movie you're getting, it's a screener. But I used to get DVDs, and then one day they're but you couldn't watch it on a fucking, on a computer. It just would, take forever. It would always be a rebuffering and shit. And now you just like, looks the same as your TV. Looks the same as any network.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Or also like how quickly we just forget. That wasn't that long ago that like watching videos on the internet was buggy and difficult and took forever. And then once you get something good, you're just like, this is the way life is. If it goes back from here.
Well, I was still working in this building when I was just getting DVDs for the movies to see. Still, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't that long ago. And now it's like, that never happens. I can't tell you the last time a movie company gave us a DVD.
Yeah, like signing up for Netflix was really about getting DVDs in the mail. And you're like, this is great. It's like Blockbusters, it's like comes right to your house.
That was the big thing. And somehow they were smart enough to move over and get the new platform. Normally that would have been the business that was knocked out.
Yeah, that's very rare, especially that quick into somebody establishing their business to move with the times and then be even more successful when they started.
Also crazy how much of their original programming is the stand-up specials now. Stand-up specials is like you could sit around and just watch stand-up specials constantly. You can see new ones almost every day, it seems like. All right, we're going to break here. Who's coming in, Chris?
Comedians Derek Gaines and Dave Temple.
Stop it. You said comedians.
Derek Gaines and Dave Temple are coming in the studio.
Remember what I told you about when you tried to start from the center? It sounds really crazy.
Sounds nuts.
Yeah, so let's take it. Right. Talk about the comedians.
Comedians Derek Gaines and Dave Temple stopping in. Derek's on Joking Off on MTV. Go to MTV.com for airtimes. And he'll be at the Stand this weekend. And Dave Temple's podcast, First World Problems, is available on iTunes.
Great. We'll be right back with those two comedians. Bennington.
Welcome back to Bennington.
Oh, thanks.
Derek Gaines and Dave Temple are in studio.
Hey.
How's it going? Derek's on Joking Off on MTV. Go to MTV.com for airtimes. On Instagram, it's at The Great Boy. And Derek will be at the Stand this weekend with Ron Bennington.
We'll be there.
And Dave,
many other people.
With Artie Lang, Christian Finnegan, Adrian Appalucci, Monroe Martin.
Yeah, great.
Oh, wow, that's a tough line.
Oh, I think that CeeLo just walked by us.
Oh, really? He's all right?
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. I need to.
That's good to know.
Good.
Yeah, that is him. That's good to know he's all right.
You can see him through the shade. What's going on with him?
Remember that he had the cell phone explode on his face?
Oh, yeah. But was that a gimmick? Was that,
good call.
Because if you watch the way he hits the ground, it looks like he took a dive. Toothpaste.
And the fact that it was conveniently caught on film, you know what I mean? Like, freak.
Freak. That would have been odd if he would have just suddenly turned evil after that.
That's pretty much how they're created, right?
Yeah.
Does he look like CeeLo the toothpaste?
And Dave's podcast, First World Problems, that's the number one ST World Problems.
First World Problems.
Is available on iTunes and on Twitter. It's at I'm Dave Temple.
Good to see you guys.
What's up?
You too, Ronnie B. What's going on, bro?
Well, you know what? I mean, not right now I'm jealous because they got CeeLo across the hall, but... But they don't let him back on that show anymore, right? He doesn't do that voting show.
The Voice?
Yeah, The Voice.
They don't let him back on?
Well, it seemed like he would want to do the show. You know, he was happy doing it, and then they started getting other stars. I don't know. Didn't he have a little controversy, like something with a woman or something, too?
Yeah, they get a case.
Who doesn't, though? Who doesn't? Dude, I already know. When I
in the company of a woman
over,
is to have an issue.
The amount of people that are going to come out of my past.
Yes.
Because of stuff that I didn't even know I couldn't do back then.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's... Like, I'm not pleading guilty to anything, but I just, there's stuff that I see now where I go, you can't do that? Like, you know, I'm like, oh, shit, well, I'm in trouble.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. You were unelectable.
Yeah.
Although Trump might have stopped that.
Not quite.
We might, in the world we have now, we might not. But I love it, both you guys, because I know this about Derek.
What's that?
He's sure he's going to go big.
Yeah.
He's sure he's going to be, and you just say, when I pass over, when it happens for me.
We don't have a choice.
Yeah.
We don't have a choice.
Not one.
I'm already too deep in the game. I can't explain the 9-year employment gap on my resume.
I used to clean up cop shit at the New Jersey Turnpike, so yeah, I gotta make it.
And we're from a city where, you know, not a lot of people, even make it this far. Like, so the home team is rooting for us. You know what I mean? Like, there are guys who are working regular jobs that are still doing comedy. They're like, yo, go
hard. So you guys knew each other years ago?
In the Philly scene.
In the Philly scene, yeah.
11, 12 years now, something like that.
And it's an interesting scene that came out of that. A really lot of creative people and that use a lot of different voices. Yeah. Like a lot of times, like all the Boston guys, they kind of remind you of each other personality-wise. But the Philly guys all seem like they're a bunch of unique people.
Well, not my friends. All of us are pieces
We're
of
all
shit.
scumbags. But no, I get what you mean as far as like our vernacular and sometimes our mannerisms is different. I can honestly say out of all of our friends that we hang out with that are from Philly, we're all from different parts of the city geographically.
Yeah.
And we definitely began to cling to each other as like you're the familiar face once we came up the turnpike.
Right.
So I wouldn't say like me and Derek weren't like road dogs back when we first started. He was somebody that I saw, and then once it came time to come up here to this arena, he was a familiar face.
That's when we started,
right,
doing the turnpike run.
And Derek, I mean, to me, he's a guy that attacks the stage every chance he gets. There's never like, oh, I'm going to go in and ease into a set. Never happens.
You got to give it your all to these people.
Yeah, we used to do colleges together, and you used to find a way to do dirty as hell.
Yeah,
at colleges.
I always try to figure out how to be as raw as possible.
He would literally ask what are those people called? There's like someone that's
the activities
there,
person,
the coordinator,
coordinator,
and they're there to make sure that you don't go too far.
Right. So I'd ask him, where's the line?
From the stage after crossing the line. He would go, hey, is that cool? All right. Hey, what do y'all think? Y'all want me to go dirty? Yeah, I'm going to keep going. And he would already have the room on his side and then just do an R-rated show, even though it was supposed to be PG.
It was supposed to be PG.
But does that make college audiences fun? Like, because I know some people really hate performing for college audiences.
Here's the thing. When you got to turn into the cool substitute teacher when it comes down to these college kids, because the PA, they'll all say, clean. Then you press the envelope with the actual crowd, and if they on your side, then you be like, well,
right.
Go!
But even if that happens, could there be a complaint and then you don't come back to this?
Oh, yeah. We've had that happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of my good friends, me, him, and one of my good friends, we went and did Vermont, right? And they said we could do a dirty show, and then my friends took it to the limit, and we've never been back. That was the Pack of Niggas show.
That was one of the last. Yeah, it was brutal.
That was when
But the college shows, we made those great because we would take each other on them.
Right.
See, what makes colleges brutal is if you're doing by yourself. You had a 5 or 6 hour drive, and now you're like in your late 20s talking to a bunch of 19-year-olds, and then you eat, and then you go back to your hotel room, and then you just sit there. Versus we would... Yo, everybody, let's just all pile in the car and go. You know what I mean? So one comic might be booked, everybody's going on.
And
we don't give a fuck.
Just try to pirate spots.
And then afterwards, we go out into the city and just do like the botcherous shit. Cause we'd be in like these small towns.
Yeah.
But like, yo, where's the strip club? We don't have one. We're gonna find one. I remember one place we went to where it was like the town, they had a town stripper.
Some goofy ass.
We got town stripper. Because when we finished the show, we were trying to find out where to go. And it was like, there's usually a stripper here. And when we got there, they was like, she went home. Like, cause she went home. Because we came in ready to go. Where the strippers at? And it was just a girl in there, like literally washing a mug, and she was like, she went home. It was a slow night.
I had $20 to blow too. That was bad.
Yeah, we would just do shit like that and play pool until like 3-4 in the morning wherever we can.
But that is a gigantic difference than that depressing feeling of being on your own in some town that you don't know, and you end up spending every waking moment not outside. You're just in the fucking motel room wondering why you're there.
Definitely. Definitely.
Oh, them college shows. Ugh.
But both you guys, cocksure you're going to make it. Cocksure something's going to happen.
Definitely.
Now, when you were the young dudes in Philly, who was that guy who had already made it? Who was the guy?
When I started, it was 2003. Kevin Hart was already on his way out. He already had one movie out, he was doing stand up. And then we looked up to the Two Rays and the D. Lees, the Sugar Bears at the time. I thought Breakout was going to be the next dude. Like,
did you see the flyer I just posted in the group today?
Nah.
That was fun. I posted a flyer, like, you know, Facebook does the reminder things. 7 years ago today, I promoted a show where me, Chris Cotton, and H. Foley were opening for a guy named Breakout. From out of Delaware. And the fact that, you know, me, Foley, and Chris are now here in New York chasing the bigger mainstream thing. I haven't seen Breakout in years. Very fucking talented guy, though. You know what I mean? But it's just amazing how the tables have turned in 7 years. You know what I mean?
No, was he a Wilmington guy?
Yes, Wilmington, Delaware. Yeah,
that's a really edgy little town. Wilmington, Delaware is one of those things where it sounds nice, but you go there and you're like, holy shit. This is not... It better be fucking respectful.
I've done shows down there in that waterfront where I was surprised at the hood turnout. You know what I mean? We're like, where did you people come from? They're like, the hood's right there.
Wilmington got those malls that got like the mattress store next to the tobacco store on the same. That's like, that shit is sketchy, bro. You be like, ugh.
So we're looking to see where Breakout is. What happened? It's a very funny act, but never wanted to leave that area.
I don't think that he didn't want to. Black comics, man, when black comics come on the scene, we got a lot of overhead to begin with. I'm noticing that, like, cause I'm one of those dudes that came with a lot of overhead. I already came with kids in the game, you know what I mean? Like a family, like Derek is a rare commodity. Derek, no alcohol, no drug use, no kids, no girlfriend, nothing. You know what I mean?
But also no condoms. So I keep an eye on him.
No. I went back to 2D. I went back to
we get there. If there's Trojan, if there's somebody who's listening that can sponsor this kid.
It's a scary deal.
I did it so that they don't have to do it.
Was Monroe Martin in Philly when you guys were there?
He's part of the clique.
Another dude that no kids, no girlfriend, like all those dudes were able to just take off
and go. Up and be out. Let's go.
But also in Monroe, I put it same, all dedicated people, like really professional comedians. Right?
Thanks,
like
buddy.
every day wanting that show to be better than the day before. And watching all these guys working all the time, and I'm like, just bringing it. There's no playtime. You know?
No, it is not, because we done been through too much. All of us. Driving back and forth, couch surfing.
But I think, also we came up in an environment where you couldn't bomb. You, because that would impact you being able to get on stage the next night or, at the next place. And you know, they would make fun of you so bad.
Because the open mic was a scene in Philly. It wasn't just a bunch of comics writing their notebooks. No, real crowd members came in, real college kids, real North Philly dudes, Southwest red like thotty girls. They knew where the light was.
The radio station.
They knew where the light was. The radio station promoted. So
they would turn around and look at the light.
Oh no, they would get up and turn it on. They would get up. No bullshit. Like they used to Spank used to host the Thursday night
Thursdays,
show.
Bro.
And
Long Island Thursdays.
Literally, the crowd, if you were doing bad, they would get up and turn the light on and, yo, Spank, come and get him. You know what I mean? Like, it was a rough scene.
But there's always a thing about Philly people, they want to feel on the inside. That's why ECW, that was the first people that used, if they didn't like the match, they yelled, take it home. Take it home.
Hold on, are you from that area?
I'm from Delco, I'm from Delco County.
I didn't know that. All right, cool.
All my buddies from the Delco proper guys.
Dude, the arena was an amazing venue down there, man. Like, even now, I've been to UFC fights down there. And that shit is intense.
Well, all you gotta do is listen to Philly sports radio, and everybody feels like they're an expert when they call in. They want to make the trades. They want to fucking change the Sixers around, change the Phillies around. Everybody down there thinks they're so damn knowledgeable about everything. You know, there's a weird confidence
because everybody has a cousin or an uncle who used to do this, therefore that makes me an expert. You know what I mean? Like, you know, my baby mother cousin, that's Kevin Hart's, people. So I'm telling you, what you need to do is
they always give me comedy advice when I go back to South Jersey, Philly.
It's amazing.
If you get a movie, then you be good like that.
All you gotta do
if you get this, you be all right, right?
I remember my aunt called me with that. Why don't you just, why don't you go on the Arsenio Hall show? When that came back out, Arsenio's back on. Why don't you go on that? Oh, yeah.
Just go on it. Right?
I'll get a hold
up there and go on it.
That's
Nothing's
a great
better.
idea. What have I been doing? Open mic sport when I could just go on it.
You know
right.
what, though?
Thank you.
But some people get detached. Artie Lang did the same thing to me, though.
Yeah.
Artie was like, why don't you just get on Guy Code?
Right.
Just like, okay, yeah. No problem. I'm
Just
sorry.
walk in. Because Artie could pick up the phone.
Right.
You know what I mean? He could call Apatow and say, look, I don't know whether this is funny, but I think I got a show idea. Who else came out of it? Keith Robinson is older than you guys.
He's the mentor.
That's the guy.
He's the guy, right?
That's the godfather. That's the connection.
Yeah. And maybe the funniest human being.
Well, yeah.
On or off stage.
Yeah, just unbelievably
antics
funny.
off stage is, like, I want to say for the first 2 years of even being in the city, for Keith to even decide whether or not he's going to introduce you to anybody or vouch for you, depends on how you do holding court on the sidewalk in front of the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah. He wants that always.
Where's them snaps? Where's them? Get them. Let me hear it.
One time we were at Stand Up New York, sitting in the window, not getting on, right? We get a call from Keith. Keith is all swirled up on wine down at the cellar, and hey, young fellas, where you at? Stand up. Get down here. Wow, what's going on? Just get down here right now.
Yeah.
Right?
I remember this.
We don't hesitate. We hop on the train, go all the way downtown to the cellar. Keith is at the back table. He's got Bill Burr sitting there, and he's been cutting on Burr all night, but he's missing. He's not connecting. And they're like, Keith, you don't got it no more. Just shut. So Keith, but my young fellas,
my young money crew. My young money crew.
Called us like some goons. Get down here. Mind you, we've never met Bill Burr. So we're starstruck. As soon as we walk in, here they come. Come on back here. Get them. Go, attack, and we're just like, what the fuck, right? And Burr is sitting there looking at us like, all right, come on, give it to me. You guys come, highly recommend it. And it's just like, on command, we're supposed to just start snapping on Bill Burr. We failed miserably that night because we're fucking starstruck.
And the Colin Quinn John. We tried to get on Colin. We all fucked up.
And Keith will still yell at us about that to this day. Yeah, you guys were making googly eyes at Burr when you should have been snapping.
I didn't feel like it's funny that Burr is okay with it. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah.
I know you've been called in for this.
Dude, the way Keith was one of the first people that showed me, like, that celebrity shit doesn't mean anything.
Showed all of us that.
Because I remember once he got me tickets to go see Burr at the Tower Theater. And he calls Burr on a three-way. Again, I don't know Burr. I knew Verzi at the time, but he calls Burr and just talks to Burr like a fucking child. Hey, dummy, I need you to put 2 tickets to the side for the show tonight. And he goes, hey, Keith, you can't just call me. Shut up. Put the 2 tickets. All right, Keith, but I don't want to hear any yapping. Keith, I need to know the name to put the tickets on. Like, Burr is fighting with him to tell him I need to put a name on these tickets. And he's going, oh. Young fella, what's the name to put the tickets on there? And I'm on 3-way, like listening to him talk to Burr like a fucking child.
It stinks. It stinks.
Yeah. So that is also the amazing thing that when you come into this business, you're able to go into big league pitching. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, even though...
If you know where to hang.
Yeah, if you know where to hang, but it's right there. It's not, it's not like that in any other art form. There's no way for you to go, I'll be next to De Niro, on a weird occasion. But in stand-up, the comics go, sit together, talk, and you walk into that world.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. And that's an intimidating thing, but one you got to get used to.
Yeah,
you have to.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. Most people look at it as, even the older comics, they'll look at it as, okay, if you can hold your own at the table, if you're funny off stage, I can only assume that you're funny on stage. You know what I mean? I found most people will give you that stage time. No question. He's cracking me up here at the table, so this guy must be good. Yeah. What the hell difference does it make if he does 5 to 10 minutes up front, and then if you see it, you go, oh, wow, he's good.
Yeah, there it goes.
Keep pushing him.
Yeah.
Derek Gaines and Dave Templer in studio. Derek's on Joking Off on MTV. Go to MTV.com for airtimes. On Instagram, it's @TheGreatBoy, and Dave Temple's podcast. First World Problems. That's first, number 1, ST World Problems is available on iTunes, and on Twitter it's at I'm Dave Temple.
Yeah. Can I plug something else too?
Yeah.
I got my second Access Gotham Live will be airing February 9th.
Cool.
So it's the day before my birthday too, man.
Now, did you already shoot it?
Yeah, because this one isn't live. So we shot this one like a couple months ago.
Yeah, I know that they got rid of the live aspect and just shooting them like a season, right?
Right.
They don't do live at all anymore?
I don't think they're going to do it much. I mean,
I shot live twice.
Yeah.
It's always better.
Yeah, I did the live one. The live one was great. So we'll see how this other one, because I know they did like an interview segment with it and everything.
Yeah.
I don't even know whether the episodes have started airing. I know I got an email that mine airs February 9th.
But it's very expensive to go in there and set up once a week you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make financial sense.
And they were able to do better shows this time. Because I know mine, they had done filming 2 days in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Cedric the Entertainer was on mine, and they built a show based on the fact that he was available. Like, well, let's just do another show the next night to get him in here, you know.
How was he, great?
Yeah. And the crowd, their response to him,
they love
standing
him.
ovation, just walking on stage. I was like, wow.
People love Cedric. And he's also one of those people is that he doesn't even have to say a funny thing for it to be funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he could just say something, like he could tell you his problem, and then you could start laughing. Because he
Cedric,
just,
Cedric has that. Yeah,
he has that
good facial
thing.
expression.
Artie is another guy. Like if Artie never went into comedy, he'd be just as funny.
Oh yeah,
as he is
definitely,
today.
definitely. Artie's the guy that's
He's a
funny on the
character.
job.
Yeah, right.
He's a character guy.
Yeah.
That length.
Derek, you're going out to L.A. for pilot season. Though.
Yeah, I got to follow up on all the stuff I did in September, October, because I shot an episode of the Training Day show coming out.
Oh, a lot of people were talking about that.
Bill
Like, how
Paxton
can they
show.
Yeah.
So
Does it seem like they got it together?
my episode was great. We had a fun time. I just hope that it's episode 7, so I hope 6 weeks of them liking this shit that I can even get that look.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't want to promote it. Like, but yeah, no, I had a lot of interviews and a lot of good meetings with a lot of big, with all these movie and TV studios. So I'm gonna go back and give it a shot.
I think it's smart to let Bill Paxton go in a different direction because you'll never do Denzel.
Yeah.
Again, there's something about that movie I could watch it every day.
Training Day is incredible. It's incredible. Oh, come on. Like, Denzel was a different kind of evil. Like, dang.
I feel like that's really him though, man.
I've heard that from people.
I saw him. Look,
Yeah.
I saw him in a nightclub in L.A. And that was the vibe. Like, cause he was at a table in a different room with a bunch of other guys, and there was a lot of N-bombs being dropped, you know what I mean?
That's so
and it was
funny.
It was one of those things where, and I don't mean to blow up his spot because I hate that. Like, I wasn't supposed to see
I'm a
that.
Denzel
I wasn't
fan.
supposed to be in that room. I wasn't even
Yeah.
supposed to be in that nightclub that night. It was just, I was that guy that came in with somebody else and now I'm seeing stuff I wasn't supposed to see. You know what I mean?
There was a film director that did this show that said Denzel could walk through Times Square and you wouldn't recognize him. He would just have his hat on, walk through. And then if he just decided to become Denzel, the people would run at him. Like, you only see Denzel the movie star when he wants you to see Denzel the movie star.
Yeah, because most of the time he looked like an uncle. Like that meme with him, remember when he had the big mustache?
But he has charisma that he can turn on and off. And that's
cool.
another thing. Like, how does that even happen? You know what I mean? How can you just decide?
Empty vessels, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good actors.
Try to give him the star. Give him the star now. And everybody blows up around him.
That's crazy. Yeah. Well, I'll reach that one day. I think I can. I think I'm.
Nah, you're always gonna be you, dude.
You're always
the
on.
minute I can get me a gold jacket made of real gold.
Derek is, and no offense to any blondes listening, we call Derek the ditzy blonde. You know what I mean? Derek, he's a blonde teenage girl in a black man's body. You understand that? Like just selfies. Like there's I love Derek, but there is nothing going on in Derek's head, man. Like, and that's the beauty of Derek because I've watched this shit work
Give
for
me a
him.
mirror, I can just stare at
he just can't. Like, I remember you went on the jeans phase. Derek would come to me and be like, I saw these jeans, $700, Dave. I gotta have it. I gotta get on TV so I can get these jeans and all the bitches will dig me now. Like that.
All the girls girls
That's his
are like me in my cool
So
ripped
you're
jeans.
talking about what's that motivation? Why does he go out and do comedy every night? So he can buy $700 jeans and women will like them. That's it.
That's it.
Girls.
That's it.
Yeah.
Mixed women and cool jeans.
I would say Derek and Sherrod are the ones that even upstairs they're still on. You know what I mean? Like there's no real
Uncle
difference from sitting with them at the table and watching them on stage.
Yeah.
They're both on, both work. Don't do crowd work with their friends.
Yeah. Sherrod will tag some shit. And it's hilarious.
But Sherrod is great. Uncle Smalls, that's what we call him.
We need a break here, Chris.
Yeah,
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and wrap this up. Do the plug thing, Chris.
Derek Gaines and Dave Templer in studio. Derek's on Joking Off on MTV. On Instagram, it's at The Great Boy. And he'll be on episode 7 of Training Day on CBS.
You got that locked in.
And then Dave,
yeah, you're paying attention.
Dave Temple, he's going to be on Gotham Comedy Live on Access February 9th. And his podcast, First World Problems, that's the number 1 ST World Problems, is available on iTunes.
We'll break right back, Bennington. It's the Bennington Show. We're back. Derek Gaines and Dave Temple sitting in with us. Dave and I are just solving the job market in the Philadelphia area, talking about the amount of factories that have closed down.
Yeah, Tasty Cake shut down.
Can't live without Tasty Cake.
Niggas ain't making crimpets no fucking more, huh?
Yeah. Is that you're a butterscotch crimpet guy?
I am a butterscotch crimpet guy.
Yeah.
Grew up on them. Me and Nana used to split them Jones right down the middle.
I was an Eclair, Tasty Claire.
Oh, nice move. Nice move.
I like the candy cake. That's like my favorite.
Candy cake's good.
Candy cake,
peanut butter.
Little peanut,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they did.
I have my own cupcake named after me, and I stole the butterscotch and candy cake and put it together. Still the number 1 place in Chicago. Number 1 selling cupcake, the Ron Bennington cupcake at Molly's.